right, everybody, we are here with After Image by Arcalena. Arcalena? How do you say that?
Arcalena.
Arcalena. All right. Well, take it away.
I'm back. I'm Arcalena. Now I'm running After Image, and I've got Lapras commentary with me.
Hi, I'm also back.
Okay, we'll get right in. This is After Image. 3, 2, 1, go.
So, After Image is a 2D, hand-drawn, beautiful-looking Metroidvania action adventure with, some Souls-like and other stuff thrown in there. Right away, you can tell it's just like game.
These annoyances.
And
Hey, Reed.
basically, what we're gonna do is go through this first little area to our first scripted death. Classic Souls-like thing, I think. And we're just gonna try to make our way to this wolf. After Image is pretty action-heavy for a Metroidvania. You have a choice of like 6 different weapons. Right now we're starting with the basic sword. And we're coming up to our first boss, which is this wolf. And dying here doesn't really matter, so we're kind of just gonna get hit. And at the end, we're gonna stand on this red bush here to bait out the laser attack so that we just die in one hit instead of having to wait around for it to hit us a couple times. And then so after that, we find out that our character, Renee, has the ability to come back from basically the live stream. They can come back out of these little trees. And now we're going to find out what happened to our teacher. Yeah, After Image, I think it's one of my favorite games for sure. Probably my game of the year. I think it came out in about April. And I think the thing that I like most about it is just the movement. It feels really crisp. Both just like the dashing and the little movement text that you can do. And on top of that, the attacking is pretty good. You'll see in a little bit that we can do like some attack cancels with crouch attacks and jump attacks. And we actually just went through our first skip there. To the left is a boss that you're supposed to do. But one of the things you can do in this game is that your jump attacks have little hovers. You can use that to kind of get to some places that you're not supposed to yet. And that's what we did to skip the first boss. And so now we're heading off into the second little area of the game. You want to kill 2 enemies on the way to the next boss just to get 1 level up. And what that's going to do is give us a talent point to kind of expand our just our attributes, I guess. We're going to get, I think, +1 attack damage, which this early on is a pretty decent increase. The first boss is kind of tanky, so even just +1 damage makes up time in the end. Little fall there, but no big deal. You see we're picking up these little echoes. Those also give us experience. They're we're pretty strategically picking up certain ones just to get as much experience as we need. And those blue things that we're attacking there are dues, which is just the money of this game. We're not doing like the optimal route because it's very unsafe for a marathon. So what we're doing is we're doing the armor route, basically, where at some point we're going to come back to the next village. And we'll buy a bunch of armor from a guy just to let us take 1 hit or 2 hits from certain bosses, just so it's a little bit safer overall.
You want to talk a little about the difference between restricted and unrestricted?
Yeah, sure. So what we're running is the restricted category, which is basically just like the kind of no major glitches. In unrestricted, there's stuff like falling through the map, and since it's an open world, you can just land in late game areas. And there's also attack techniques where you kind of just mash in a certain way, and you can basically just unlock entire bosses. And there's a few other things like movement techs, jump attack techs, And basically what the goal of Restricted is just to kind of keep the same feel as playing the game normally. So that's what we're running here.
That all?
And that was our first boss, Guider. Actually, her name was question mark, but later we find out that it's Guider. Yeah, and if you notice, there's a combo that we're using with the scythe, which we picked up earlier, where you just attack, crouch attack, and then jump attack. And basically that just lets you cancel 3 attacks very quickly instead of, you know, standing there doing your basic attack, which won't do too much damage. Jump attacks and crouch attacks, I think, do like slightly less than just a normal attack, but it's pretty negligible. So now we're heading into the resting path. Is in most of these areas are a combination of platforming and combat. So you get to see, you really get to like own the movement of this game. You can see we're going through enemies, memorizing the pattern of the fireballs, so you can just dash straight through, going up and down and up and down and over. Kind of takes a lot to memorize, but I think we're at like a 3-shot right now. These enemies are already above our level. You can see the little symbol above their heads. And yeah, so it is a little bit dangerous, but it's not super dangerous yet.
I'm also going to be picking up some extra potions. Safety. I didn't stop at the tree before Guider.
Yeah, well, there's some things that we'll be doing that we just normally wouldn't do in a route for safety. This game uses trees, basically in the way that like Dark Souls uses bonfires. They act as your checkpoints and restore your... I think they're glyphs in this game instead of like Estus. But you can see like all these blue roots coming out. Those are your checkpoint trees, basically. And we'll be picking up a couple of them that we normally wouldn't. Just in case.
Yeah, one thing I like about this game casually is that you can kind of see where the trees are, as the roots kind of expand out from where they are, so you kind of get an idea of like, oh good, there's a checkpoint nearby.
Yeah, the checkpoints are not... They're not hidden. They're intentionally not. Yeah, what we're doing down here is we're looking to get our slide. Just so that we can go under some things and get to the next area. Classic Metroidvania, get you a power-up so that you can progress. And now what we're gonna do is, I think, upgrade some of our talents. Just so that we do a little bit more damage to these fellas, which are... They're a boss. They're a regular enemy, but they're like a late enemy, so they count as kind of a boss. But yeah, after we kill these two, we're gonna be getting life from them. Yeah, and you can just kind of see just like the movement, or the attack patterns just look really clean. They're very satisfying to pull off well. Now we're gonna head back up, call down this elevator, and move on to the next area. The elevators have, you have to wait a little bit before you can take them, so we like to crouch 3 times and then do a little jump to line up the timing. And you see this slide animation that Elena's doing right now is another tech from this game. Just the movement tech, you dash and then you cancel your dash with the slide, and you cancel your slide with the dash, and so on and so forth. It works on any flat or uphill surface.
Yeah.
Oh, missed the jump there. That's a little tight. You can see that there's these platforming sections tend to have a lot of enemies running around in the places that you want to be.
I haven't gotten this potion in a while.
So it's a nice little balance of timing to squeeze right in between all the enemies. Of course, having to stop to kill them just takes longer. I think coming up we have the kitties that throw bombs, and they walk on these little platforms. You kind of just wait for them to go to the back end and you squeeze through as best you can. Otherwise, you're just going to stand on the corner, and this game does have contact damage, so they'll knock you off. And then you just have to kill them with very slow jump attacks otherwise. But Elena did a really good job there of waiting just enough to squeeze in through all three. Sometimes that guy likes to troll and just jump on top of the next platform instead of jumping off. So now we're in the field of Geo. Up this tree. And we're going to be, in just a second, doing another one of the floating movement techs to grab Blackwood Katana, which is the third type of weapon that we'll be using in the run. And using that movement tech lets us get to this one, which is basically a whole tier above what we have right now. So it's just going to do a lot more damage to the next boss. Not quite. This jump's pretty tight. For a time, we would use the greatsword just to make this jump easier. But the greatsword's a bit out of the way, so I think as long as you don't mess it up more than like 3 times, you're still saving time versus going to get the greatsword. And with the katana, we'll be doing these little... Yeah, sometimes these guys are rough where they'll get to the corner and just kind of bully you out. Yeah, with the katana we're going to be using the jump attack. It has a really nice double hit, and it kind of helps you hover a bit too. Pretty good damage. I think we use 4 different weapons in the run.
You don't use the whip or the greatsword.
Yeah. I guess we will pick up the greatsword, but we don't really use it to fight. We use that first. We use the basic sword for just that first opening area, and then we switch to the scythe, and then the katana, and we'll be moving back to the scythe later, pretty much for the whole run. Now we're coming up to a really fun boss, which is Sloss. This guy's gonna give us our double jump. And this is a pretty scripted fight. Can get thrown off a little bit based on how he phases for the halfway point here. But with the katana you can do this really cool thing where you jump attack and reflect all his projectiles back at him. Yeah, and so that just kind of just melts his health in the second phase. It's really fun to do. And that's us picking up the greatsword, and now we have double jump, and with double jump also comes the dive kick. We are just picking up a little bit more money because we are going to get the armor soon. And we're just going to avoid these and try to make it to the tree in the next area. And I think after double jump is probably when the movement in the game just gets like a whole weird... Oh, that was really unlucky. Just happened to land on that. But with the double jump, what you can do is basically you just use it, or you use the dive kick to get back to the ground as fast as possible, because obviously floating in the air is kind of slow. So you just want to be back on the ground to dash as much as you can.
I accidentally didn't land on that ledge and didn't have my second jump again to get back onto the little ledge.
A lot of the platforming in this game can be really precise. Now that we've gotten the tree, we're gonna use it to warp back to the very beginning, or not the very beginning, the second town, resting town, where we go talk to the armor guy that we just saved after loss, and we're gonna buy some stuff from him. And we're going into this house really quick to grab a exotic bomb, which is the third tier of upgrade for our weapon, and we'll be using that later once we get the last weapon we're gonna use. Yeah, the game is just gorgeous. The music is also really great. I don't know how well you can hear it, but it's very, that's the mood very well, I think. Really good. Yeah, so we just bought Guardian armor and some adventure boots and headbands. You have 3 different sets of armor you can equip. We're going to equip all that right now. And it basically prevents us from getting one shot all the way up until the final boss, I think. And at that point, we'll probably grab another piece of chest gear to prevent that there too. Now we're back in what this is the columns. We're just gonna go through here to Town of Exile, which is the place where we're gonna fight Boss and grab a whistle so that we can go into the ocean.
Yeah, normally I think a lot of people who play this game will enter the Town of Exile from the left and have to like navigate through it to get to the boss in the tree. Grab that. I have 5 potions. So it's very out of the way. Lapras and I routed this game back in June. The route has changed so much since then.
Yeah, the game used to be a lot harder for us, and so we routed in a bunch of checkpoints and potions and armors, and I think when we were first running it, we were trying to get sub 1 hour, and now, you know, I will probably be in a low 40 for this run.
If you're armorless, Rob and chat are boss. Our world record holder. Notorious for running this game without armor. It's quite difficult, because at this point, I think Oss is still a 2-shot armorless.
I think so. I think everything after this boss will just one-shot you. Yeah, and now that we have the double jump, we can use a slightly different attack pattern. We still do the attack, crouch attack, jump attack, but with the double jump we can get another second double jump attack after that. And then we can use the dive kick to get down to the ground much faster, so we can just repeat that over and over and over. Not the most technical thing, but the timing is fairly strict. You don't get a lot of leeway sometimes, or you'll cancel your attacks and stuff. It is really fun to just get it all going together. Now that we've killed Oss, we got the whistle, and we're warping back to the columns because it's just a little shorter to come from here. And we're gonna fight Crystal Wolf. This is another fight that's basically totally scripted. You get a couple of these, he throws some projectiles, you send them back, do it a couple more times, and then for whatever reason it just gets stuck while it's phasing, so you get a bunch of free damage, and then you just do it like 1 more time. Now we get Flea. This is our manta ray companion that traverses us through the overworld.
Don't look too closely at the map, it doesn't actually line up with the zones.
in some way, maybe.
Because we go over here, we're gonna open the gate in the overworld, the lighthouse, but that's not where it is.
A little confusing, yeah. But yeah, now it's just basically just dash over to turn on the lighthouse, climb up, and then jump back down, and we'll head on to the next area. A little bit of a break for now. Yeah, and running this game, it is nice to see the little differentiations. Players, you know, Elena is still using the katanas to like break things, and some people will swap that out for something else, or you know, just to cut down on menus. Everybody has their own little way of figuring out what feels optimal.
Yeah, you can also quit out to the main menu and reload it to just start next to Fui. It's roughly the same time RTA.
But it does give you a little break.
Yeah. I like
And it's
keeping up
faster
the action. I like the stuff. And then I don't have to worry if my computer is being slow.
Yeah, and now we're in Holy Grounds, which is basically an endgame level, because it is open world. Oh, it's unfortunate. Yeah, we were gonna use an enemy down there to make skip, so now we have to wait for another one to spawn instead. But yeah, because it's open world, we can kind of just come straight to the endgame area. So we're gonna do that mostly to get our weapon and to pick up some of the little echoes, so we get a bunch of experience and we can get a skill out of it. So it is pretty dangerous, especially on armorless. Definitely one-shot you. I think right now we're at a 2-shot. But it's just worth it for how much more damage we can do with a new weapon. There it is. We've got to bounce on this guy's head. And now we have our endgame weapon, the Iron Scythe.
Yeah, the scythe hitbox is a little wonky.
A little silly.
Yeah. Oh, yay.
That was very close. These enemies are being very rude right now.
I didn't want to use an art potion because I knew I had a glyph I could use on this elevator.
Yeah, so this is like, when we were first playing it, we didn't have those pogo skips on the little bugs to get to the next area, so we had to do it legit, and it's a very rough area if you do it that way. Especially when you're just barely routing the game and trying to figure things out on the fly. Yeah, neat little trick there, using the pogo to get these potions up here, where normally you would need the wall climb ability. And we're through the worst of it. We're gonna grab the tree here, and we're gonna go around to open up the gate on the other side, so that when we come back, we can just go straight to the boss. And yeah, picking up all of these echoes gives us a lot of experience. We're gonna try to get up to level 20. I think we don't quite get there yet.
Yeah, we get to 19. Then we get 20 in next area.
Yeah, and at level 20 we'll be able to get a scythe skill called Rondo that is just really good for damage.
Excuse you. Excuse you.
That ice mage is normally a bit more cooperative. We're gonna open that gate and head back to the beginning of Holy Ground so we can go back to the overworld and to the area where we're supposed to go next.
Yeah, we have to come back here anyway for the progression, so it doesn't really lose us any time to go and grab the Iron Scythe.
I think the only thing that is maybe a little bit of a time loss is just not having wall climb to get through that area faster, but I think you save more time being able to level up and get the damage. It's a trade-off.
Yeah. And Rob, our world record holder, doesn't get those echoes, so it's not exactly clear how much the time difference is between going up and around to get the echoes versus not doing it and not having Rondo for the run.
Now we're in Whispering Forest. Nice. I find this is one of my favorite platforming sections, honestly, where you have to hit these bubbles to make the plant sprout, and just doing it in a way, efficient way as possible. Really neat. And then we have one more skip right here, where we're gonna jump over this gap to tree here.
Actually don't need the great sword for it, but I find it much comfier. I'm gonna grab this tree for safety. I don't.
If you're playing IGT, this tree is also very useful for quit out strats. Now we have Rondo. That's basically all the skills we need in the game. At this point, we don't really worry about leveling up anymore. What Rondo does is it spins the scythe around and does like 4 hits, I think. So it's really nice for damage and also for breaking the dews for money. Because the dews take 8 hits from anything, no matter what.
Except the early one.
Oh yeah. There's a difference. Oh, and yeah, we are doing restricted. We explained earlier that there's just one of the major ones is just that when you rest at a tree, you can do some quit out strats and just fall through the map to a much later area, or you can use kind of a mashing attack strat that basically just lets you stunlock bosses entirely. But yeah, those are probably the 2 main ones that are banned here.
And the scythe, the super slide, scythe slide, where you can spam out of it.
Yeah, this is Failure, the next boss. Pretty weak. He goes down really fast with Rondo.
Who's you?
That was very rude. Sometimes it feels like those attacks can track super hard.
Actually, a cutscene right there that you can jump over the trigger for.
Yeah, so we come up to talk to this person, robot, to open this portal, and now we can go to... Oh.
So many
Forgotten
Forest Forgone?
Forest Forgone. There we go. Yeah. And we have another boss coming right up after a little section here. Up a quick little shortcut, because we have another scripted boss coming.
Get out of. We finally got you.
This is the Unstoppable Devil, which you find out more about in Plus. And so far, all we know is that she basically stole the soul of our mentor, because that's like kind of a thing you can do to bring people back to life. And kind of Angie, don't know what she's trying to do with it, so we've been chasing her this whole time.
I took the rain.
Maybe?
I've never done that before.
Yeah, we actually got pretty fortunate there. Normally she has an attack where she just kind of like goes into her little ice cocoon thingy and she rains crystals on you for a bit.
I was trying to go the upper path that's safer, but I just couldn't get up there.
Made it through anyway. This is a pretty dangerous part too, especially armorless. There's a lot of projectiles going around.
Excuse you.
And I'm
please,
pretty sure... Oh.
Just to stop.
And I'm pretty sure those would all one-shot you.
Oh yeah, they...
But yeah, we got no rain on that last boss, which is probably just like a flat 10-second time save, maybe more.
I don't know how I dodged that.
Are we going up to grab the tree?
Yeah,
Or Silent
I
Coast?
should. I use my glyph already.
Yeah, sometimes when the enemies are rude, we'll go back to the safety strat. Normally we would go down from here, but we're gonna go up to grab a tree checkpoint. And also refill our healing.
I might as well grab this glyph one. Yeah, I'm gonna grab the scroll, so the glyphs will actually do 50 strats.
Yeah, a little safety spare here. It's not the biggest time loss, but it definitely is.
If we die, we would go all the way back to the tree after we beat that last boss.
4.
Or, like, she sends us before her.
Oh, right.
The tree we unlocked after. Maybe after she...
Yeah, now we're in Silent Coast, which is also gorgeous and beautiful and dangerous and terrifying.
These bubbles. Okay, they weren't that bad today.
Those bubbles track you to the ends of the earth sometimes. They will track you all the way up here. They're just feeling like it. And then the rabbits throwing the projectiles, they're also pretty dangerous. There's puffer fish that also throw bubbles that track you. And then there's blue rabbits, which are personally my most hated enemy in the game, because they like to stand there and then they dash at you and they shoot projectiles at you. They are cute, but they're deadly and dangerous, and they're very mean to me specifically.
Thankfully they can't come down here, so safety potion is also just a safety area.
See if we get one following us into the boss arena this time. Hopefully not. But sometimes they do follow you to the edge of the boss arena.
You can actually, if you go too close to the wall, they can actually hit you.
I think this one's coming in.
Oh.
It's gonna try. Yeah, this is Runic Guardian, which is a nice little break from all the other more technical bosses. This guy has 2 attacks. And I think he has 3, but when you stay close to him, he never uses the other one. Just a pretty simple little fight. You get to use your little rondo combo, and he goes down very quickly. And yeah, and we also picked up the Guardian swords from him, which are the dual blades, which is I guess it's actually the 5th type of weapon that we use in this game. And this one we actually do use for damage. What we'll do is use them to cancel out of our scythe combo for a little more damage and helpful positioning.
Here is an unfortunate part of this this run. The boat doesn't always work, but he did this time. He did. So after we kill Runic Guardian, we got a gold card, which makes the boatman appear. There's something we don't quite know of why sometimes you can just get down here, you have the card, and it just work. So a backup that I would have done if that happened would just be to save and quit out and do Silent Coast again. It's unfortunate that the run can just end. Don't know why. It's a gorgeous game, hand drawn, and like the very small dev studio though. Hopefully that'll get fixed.
Yeah, we got it this time. Personally, I think it has something to do with going through the area too quickly. We also grabbed the scroll, which I think helps Spoke Guy actually show up. But yeah, now we're in the Field of Hydro, which is where our mentor... Actually?
Still don't talk to her.
Do we? I thought you were gonna grab the thing.
I don't have an accessory for it.
Oh, okay. Then we don't talk to her. But yeah, finding her isn't actually required for beating the game.
Theros. She was dead earlier, now she's back. She got better.
It would be nice to talk to her, but she has a lot of dialogue, so we just don't.
The whole reason we actually do have to go there is to get the ability to swim. This game, water is dangerous. There was this great giant flood.
Yeah, and water is, like, I think I mentioned earlier, that it's like the life stream. So touching water is pretty scary. I'd see you skip one, but yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, I didn't grab anything in the Institute.
There's one right here if you want.
Don't actually need. Fight's a little more comfy.
A little bit more damage. Yeah, and these last 2 fights are the most dangerous fights in the game, so damage is nice.
This is Valo, which is hardest fight for me personally.
Yeah, now you can see using the dual blades, we'll do Rondo and then we'll cancel it with the dual blades jump attack, or jump skill, which also just does a lot of damage. So it's really nice to be able to have these two weapons. Yeah, the way Vala works is she has some attacks, and then she'll flash, and she'll do like a super, or an upgraded version of her attacks, like that, where she shoots projectiles, or does extra beams, or something like that. Big giant beam. Yeah, so it's nice to be able to figure out where the openings are and try to be aggressive if possible.
One.
She comes back for phase 2, where all of her attacks are going to be the upgraded versions, and she takes a lot less damage, but her health goes down over time. So it's kind of an endurance, but you can also be aggressive to make it go just a little bit faster. Be dangerous, but Anna's doing a great job right now. And then sometimes she just gives you bad patterns where it's really hard to punish. Yeah, this one can kind of be a big roadblock for a lot of people's casual play, because they'll kind of just brute force it through Holy Grounds at a lower level, because it's kind of the first place you see when you get to that open world, and then they'll run into a roadblock here. This is basically the second to last boss of the main story. There are multiple endings in this game. You just have to go through other stuff to do them.
Actually, fine. Not the best fight, but you know, we got through.
Yeah, we made it through. And we still have some potions for safety strats on the next boss.
Back in the day, I would used to get After Image, which is basically like the what are they in? Right? Called?
Like the charms?
Yeah.
I think?
Where you take less damage if an enemy hits you from behind. Val was very scary back in the day.
Yeah, we used to route in a lot more defensive stuff. Nowadays we're pretty consistent with just armor. Lot of fun movement here. And to determine when to just dash, when to slide, when to dive kick, when to jump. Totally fun. There used to be a bug in the last patch where if you used the poison scythe on Valo, it would take tick damage during her phase transition, and it would just go through the second phase immediately. So, unfortunate we don't have that one. Although maybe it would have been in the unrestricted one. Yeah, we just picked up the Moonshadow Robe. That's our last piece of armor. It's an endgame armor. In this game, levels are less important than gear. So we put it on, grab some extra health. It also lets us do more damage, and it's gonna let us survive one hit from the last boss, which is at the end of this area.
Awesome. Normally you can just float down through that gap.
Now we come this way to grab a key so that we can go back the other way and make it to God's Cradle, I think, in the game.
God's Hall.
God's Hall.
God's Hall. Grab the safety potion.
Fun little thing about the way the physics work in this game. If you jump while you're on the elevator, you get the elevator momentum too. So you can just jump and you don't have to time it at all. You'll just keep floating above the elevator. One more last little platforming, floating through water.
Flat floating.
Flat floating section left. And then we'll be almost done with the run. One more here. And we're free.
One more fight.
Take this elevator down and out.
A tunnel on this
I do find the final boss to be easier than Vala. Hopefully, quite smoothly. I have a lot of extra heals. That scroll I picked up after the got the gold card increased the amount of healing our glyphs will do. So this will actually do something. Because really the only way that glyphs keep up in healing is through equipment or some after images.
Yeah. Now we're into the last boss, and time will be when Arcalena strikes the last hit. This is Guider. This was the same as the first boss that we fought. She starts off exactly the same, but after about a quarter HP, she'll start glowing, and she'll phase doing upgraded versions of her attacks. There she goes.
Boy, that's a tough one to dodge if you don't just hop over. Which the dual blades jump skill just happens to get us right over her.
Yeah, and as you can see, the attacks get a bit complicated. Hard to tell when you're learning the boss, but
Uh oh.
I have no idea how you dodge that.
I didn't even mean to hit the. Oh, here.
Take it easy.
Not my cleanest fight.
But yeah, her attacks get more complicated, and she can easily pin you into a corner sometimes. But if you're able to look closely and figure it out, there's usually a solid way to dodge it every time. And we're almost done here. A little bit more health.
Oh, not yet.
Nope.
Time.
She said no, that's time.
230.
That's after image.
Has yet to write.
That's slightly slower than my old PB from high PB last night while derusting, because took a little bit of break from this game, but I'm back strong.
Good run. Solid run. Especially for all of the safety strats.
Indeed, great run, great run. I haven't been told, but we got a donation during that from Jowser, so thank you, Jowser. I can't see what the message is, but I do appreciate it. So
That was the bad ending, Jowser. Many endings and are a lot of different items you have to get.
Like a lot of games, the easiest one to get is the bad ending.
Mm-hmm.
By a lot. Really fun game. Really beautiful and gorgeous and great to play casually. Fun to speedrun too. So highly recommend.
Yeah. Highly recommend routing games with your wife.
there you go. You heard it here first, folks. All right, everybody. Well, we are a bit ahead of schedule, but we're going to head back to intermission for a little bit and start getting the next run set up, and we'll keep this whole marathon going. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a moment.
Spark their former connection and fill the void of the one she truly cares about. She's become dependent on him
ever since Red Meat's parents forced him to move back to the city of worship. Blue Jr. shortly answers her questions. He feels guilty around Grand Pink because of the confession letter Red Meat left behind. He looks upwards and torments himself with questions. Will Red Meat be sent up to the ocean? Is that the true path to happiness? Will we all ever be together again? The uneasiness quickly washes up his body as he feels the land shake.
Hello. I'm here to check on you, chat. I see that El Curry has joined us. Are you guys ready for Arto with Song of Soil? How is the chat feeling? Are we ready? You are. How many people here have seen Arto before? Who here's seen Arto before? Yeah. Ooh, Alcuri's seen it. So Arto is a very, very cool game that explores a bunch of different art styles. Yeah. Shh. Everything is halfway. We're only halfway there. Our first goal here. So the total for everything, if we were to get everything perfect, is 2.1. But we are going for 12 to start, 11 to start. So we are starting at 11, and that is our goal for now. But we want to keep going. We want to get the full 2.1 if we can, because that'll give absolutely everything that we need. And that's not, we won't have to cheap out on anything. So that'll include the monitor, the keyboards, the mice, the nicer mice. Not your like $5 Walmart mouse. Ugh, I know somebody that games on one of those, and I think they're absolutely insane. Yeah, at least one monitor. Nah, dude, I have 3. I think I'm the freak. Yep, $6 rounds for the super ranking. No, I'm the weirdo. I have 3 monitors, and everybody looks at me and they go, "Why do you have 3 monitors?" And I go, "Why don't you, dude? I can't go down to 2 anymore. I need my 3. Like, it's so handy." But yeah, no, at least 3. But yeah, right now, if we were to look at our total, we, like, the absolute max that we need, we are at 23%, with our 500 that we are at. But like I said, we are just trying to get as much as we possibly can, because we can take that, and we can do what we need to do. Oh, I just got booted. Does that mean the Australians arrived? He has. Say hello to Clock District, everybody.
The uneasiness slightly sparks inside Blue Jr. as he feels the land shake.
Alright. I am gonna go check in on Song of Soil one more time, and now that Mr. Clock District is here, I do believe we might be getting started with Arto soon. All right, everybody. We are ready to go. We are going to start the run. Let's give it up for Song of Soil and Arto.